So, just to give you an idea of where things are on my property, there's the roadside, with my bodega, house, driveway. There's the wall that got knocked down by the first big storm, but it's back up, and we're gonna build it up just taller and heavier, I guess. See how that works. It's the benefit of not using any concrete. You can just put it back together pretty easily. So I crossed the river. I got these little bullshit stairs just to give it a nicer feel. Now immediately across the river we've got this super nice, shady, flat area underneath these Malinche trees, which are super cool, super pretty. They got great red flowers for about a month a year, late spring, early summer. This is a really cool area that I want to build some hammock space, hangout area, adult playground, exercise area. It's really nice. The only problem is when it really floods, which so far has happened once this year, once last year. This whole area can be under about 80 centimeters of water, a little less than about 2 feet of water. There's a little bodega to give you an idea of how high the water gets. The water got about halfway up the side paneling. Luckily for us, this bodega is really just auxiliary recycling storage. You can see this was really nicely organized until it flooded and all the water lifted up. We do keep some of our chicken feed in here and have a little locked closet for some gardening tools, and nothing that got damaged by water. But yeah, the plan is to turn this into a hangout spot that won't get horribly destroyed if it does flood, which is, just laying down some stones. One of the first things we're gonna do after the rainy season's over and the river goes down is put in a retaining wall along this terrace, which is actually the garden up there. When it does flood, the water does come up here, and I guess over many, many years could eat away at it. So we're just gonna put a little simple loose stone retaining wall. Honestly, mostly I want to get it done just for aesthetics. I think it'll look really nice. Just give the land a little bit more of a shaped feel. We're gonna add some sort of gutters for the garden. You can kind of see there's already some natural flow from where the water exits the garden. All these penisuelas are already growing in big clumps in the woods. They make great border plants. They're kind of toxic and super spiky. Keep the cows out and shit like that, because the neighborhood cows and horses do love to come and eat all the yummy green stuff here. Not just my garden stuff. They do love all the green that lasts much longer than the rest of the area because it's so close to the river. Over here, you got this little pad of land that's a step below the nice part. We'll probably end up just getting rid of all this dirt as long as I can get approval, and just widening the river and putting in a nice retaining wall along this border. You can kind of see we've planted some adornment plants, and just define the river a little bit more, widen it out so it can be a little bit deeper, maybe to help with some of the flooding. And this way we can put in some sort of driveway that will come past my house, down into the river, get rid of all this dirt, and have the road come up back into here. And this will sort of be, you know, a little roundabout, turnaround area, place to get cars across. Still planning out the driving situation. So yeah, after behind this nice little kind of hangout area that's sort of designated to be just a chill spot, not really anything productive, we have the garden. Well, garden 1.0. As you can see, maybe you can see, I don't know, this corner of the garden, all these poor penisuelas. This is a low spot. When it did flood one time this year, this is all also underwater, maybe about 30 centimeters, 50 centimeters, foot and a half. Luckily, these little trees are just above the water line and seem to have survived. I think that's an ayote tree. And we got a little avocado tree, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And this leads up into what was our original chicken run. It still kind of is. Though they all have their ways of escaping now after the flood damaged a lot of the fencing. We've got some koala plants struggling in there. This is all a low spot, and it's not the lowest, but with the amount of rain we had this year, it's really just been kind of fucked. It would probably be greener if it wasn't for the chickens, but it's not a great place for growing anything. Anyways, we do get a lot of root rot here with how much water can sit on the ground. So this is we're actually gonna probably tear all this down, turn this into an eventual roadway with drainage system to help funnel any water back into the river. That'll give us a good road. Doesn't matter if the road floods. Roads are easy to drain. Yeah, these passion fruit plants aren't doing too well. Passion fruit likes to have ant colonies beneath it because the ants drink or whatever, they collect some nectar that the passion fruits simply make to attract them, and then the ants also eat any herbivore bugs, especially shitty caterpillars. There's one of our orange trees. That one's doing pretty well. All right. There's this weird worm that causes them to leaf curl and stunt their growth. It's nothing horrible, but it happens, you know. That's what happens when we all do the hippie organic thing. Gotta deal with bugs. Here we've got some little tomato plants coming in. We got planted a little late in the season, but it's alright because we're gonna start to irrigate over here. You can kind of see there's a well underneath all those trees in that big dark shady spot. Just gonna pump some water out from there. Here's our chicken coop. It's in a good location for now. Nice and shady, doesn't get too hot. It's on high ground. Shouldn't ever really flood. Right next to it's our lazy man's compost. It's where I toss all my food scraps. Right now the chicken shit. and a bunch of other random stuff ends up in there. It's actually working out pretty well. I just turned it yesterday, and inside there's some good compost. Got some wood chips from my nice neighbors. They're carpenters, and they hooked me up with a bag of wood chips when I needed it. Next here we got one of our patches of oregano. This patch did really well. Didn't get too gross with the heavy rains. We're actually gonna tear this all up and build a raised garden bed here for the oregano, but out of stone, give it a little nicer look, start to shape the area. Got some passion fruit here. It's doing well. This is not flowering though. Maybe it's a male. I don't know enough about these plants quite yet. Probably gonna get rid of this. Free up some sun space for other plants. Build out the raised garden into a little seating area. Here's some hibiscus bushes. Getting pretty close to flowering. These were planted beginning of the rainy season. Well, at least beginning of summer. Coming up for next year, I want to move some of these around, plant some more, and create sort of a little closed off area with a nice little table in it surrounded by the hibiscus bushes. Nice table with some privacy. And I just think these guys look great as kind of border plants. Unfortunately, can't have them too close to the actual borders because they will get eaten by the cows. Here was another one of our oregano patches. This one didn't do as well. More disease, more rot, and maybe just too much shade. So we're tearing this up and just getting rid of it and planting more hibiscus because I do love hibiscus tea. Over here we've got some ginger, mixing with lemongrass. Kind of just been doing the whole border with lemongrass, kind of propagating it. Trying to get as much going as possible. Eventually I want to do all my houses and hangout areas bordered with it. Just here it helps keeps the bugs down. So this side of the garden, it's got our nice strong koala plant, another row of our first banana trees, plantain trees. These guys, we'll let these guys fruit here, but once these guys fruit, we'll probably move the mother root system somewhere else. Gonna move into pit gardening and more of the open areas of the property. This little row, they're planted here because there's a little natural divot. Kind of forms a half circle around this interior section of the garden for drainage. We're gonna stone that out, make it look nice and cool. And yeah, we'll have some nice flowers along the edge. Maybe we'll keep the fruit trees, I don't know. Line planting isn't ideal, but it does look nice, I guess. Over here where the passion fruit's not doing too well because of this nice big tree, instead of cutting the tree down for more sun, we're actually going to build an auxiliary office here with some nice wood, nice lumber from Jorge's grandfather that we picked up earlier. We'll run power out here, get the Wi-Fi extended out here so we can work in the garden. Just a good place to chill out, nice and shady. And then we'll extend, seating outside of the structure, just underneath the stronger passion fruit plants, which give good shade for hanging out. It's nice stone seating. Be able to just hang out while you do your work, and hopefully a passion fruit will just fall in your lap as soon as you want it.